Welcome to the House of History. I'm Miss Morgan, and we'll be learning about Spain and the Americas today. Thanks to Valeria from my 2015-16 eighth graders for that suggestion, for that opening line. All right, so just as a reminder, the Americas refer to North, Central, South America. Spanish refers to people from Spain. All right, so we have the Taino and Columbus. Columbus comes to the Americas. He's in the Caribbean. He encounters the Taino people who are very friendly and generous. Things change, though, and the Tainos offended the Spanish. They didn't respect Christian symbols because they weren't Christians, and that was not good for Columbus and the Spaniards that were with him. So things started to get worse between the Tainos and Columbus. So we have that. We have Columbus thinking he's better than the Taino, claiming land and taking Taino prisoners back to the Spanish king. So you can see what I've written to the side. Benefits for Spain, Native Americans not benefiting with those facts. So what I want you to think about in this unit is who's benefiting from exploration, who isn't. And it depends what perspective you're looking from, but this is an important theme, I think, to think about throughout this unit. So we have examples of both right there. All right, then we have some more. Well, there's a definition of conquistador. So some people didn't use the glossary. You may want to fix your definition if you didn't use the glossary. We have raiding the riches of the Americas and mistreating the native people. So more benefits and and that doesn't make sense. Benefits for Spain, Native Americans not benefiting. How about I just say that? Some deals with money, gold, panning for gold. The other deals with religion, wanting everyone to be Christian, which at this point, coming from Spain, meant they were Catholic. Remember, Catholic is a type of Christianity. All right, if you're good to go, move on to page 2. If you missed something, you could always pause and go back somewhere else in the video. This is a map of the Aztec, Mayan, Inca. So the next page, page 2, is going to refer to the Aztec and the Inca. And I just wanted to show you on a map where those civilizations were. So you might want to highlight or circle this heading, number 4, because you'll need to look at that at a later time. So you've watched a video, about this, so I filled in a lot of this for you. The first bullet tells you what Cortes came to Mexico with. So he had way fewer men than the Aztecs, but it didn't end up mattering. They still were able to bring down the Aztecs. The Aztecs were the first to go the mighty empire north in Mexico. All right, so they had made a lot of enemies who were willing to help the Spanish. They wondered if Cortes was the return of the god Quetzalcoatl, and were friendly at first to Cortes, and that didn't turn out to be a good move because Cortes conquered them and took over and stole riches anyway. Did not like the fact that they were polytheistic and not Christian. There's going to be a theme with that. Okay, so that's the Aztec info. You can move on down to the Inca. Remember, if it goes too fast, there's that pause button. You could always press pause. Okay, Pizarro, Inca. Again, highlight this. You'll need to refer to this later. And Inca, Pizarro has those 2 eyes in his name, and that's what you might want to remember, that Pizarro is the one who brought down the Inca. So again, this was in a video we watched, and here are the facts for that. Again, an issue was, would Atahualpa be Christian? No. And Spanish had weaponry and diseases that hurt the Inca. Okay, if you're good with this, on to page 3. So we have 6 and 7. Number 7, how did Spain benefit from its conquistadors in the Americas? So you might want to highlight that because this is a whole section on how Spain is benefiting. Okay, so they get free labor, treasure ships. They were able to become the greatest power in Europe because of the wealth from the Americas. Okay, all the facts here go with number 7. I did notice some people could have had more detail in this section. You may need to add more detail. Okay, Native Americans not benefiting. The world's ending because of disasters. That's what they thought. This is a sign from the gods. The world is ending. Because so many Native Americans died, the people who didn't die thought our religion is weaker than the Europeans' religion. So they kind of interpreted the loss of life in that way. Then they were desperate. So some of them converted, hoping that would stop their suffering. Again, this whole section's on Native Americans not benefiting. Some people could have had more detail in their notes in this section as well. So lastly, I gave you some of these facts. Oops. Some of them you got. And there it is. This song is for the second bullet point under number 8.
This is not what I had planned. It's out of my control.
That would be Waiting for the End by Linkin Park. All right, that's all I've got on this topic. See you next time on Miss Morgan's World of Awesome History. Thank you, Savannah, from 2015-16, for suggesting that ending line. Bye.